Bring our troops back home. I told the story yesterday. I have to sign letters. It's the hardest thing I have to do. I sign letters. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Smith from Arkansas. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Jones from Alabama. Dear Mr. and Mrs. somebody from some great state. I'm sorry to inform you, your son has been killed in combat. I'm so sorry. And every letter is individually done, because sometimes the parents, they're grieving and they get together with other parents. And I don't want to see that it's like the same letter. So we do different letters. It's the hardest thing I have to do. Hardest thing. It's the hardest thing I have. I was telling Tom Cotton, it's the hardest thing that I have to do. And I signed those letters, and it just breaks your heart. And by the way, there's a time to fight. Nobody fights harder than I do, but there's a time and there's not necessarily a time. But I send these letters out, quite a few, and sometimes I send letters out. It's called Blue on Green, where we're teaching people how to fight, and then they turn the gun on our soldiers and shoot them in the back. And that's the hardest thing for a parent. I have all of them. I know every one. That's the hardest thing for a parent, when they get notification, because they learn how their child has died. When the so-called people that we're teaching how to fight turn the gun on them and shoot. We've had a lot of that, a lot of it in Afghanistan, more than we've ever had proportionally before. It's a horrible, horrible thing. But I have to sign these letters. And sometimes I go out to a place, Dover Air Force Base. It's a very tough experience. Mike Pence goes. I go. Other people go. Tom Cotton goes. We go out there and we meet the parents and the families, the wives, the children, the sisters, the brothers. We meet them and we talk to them. And their son or daughter is being flown in from some faraway place in a coffin. And these things are just impossible. I don't know how parents can do it even. And I'll meet them, and we have a particular colonel. That's all he does. So good, so professional. And that's what he does. He said, I greet the dead, sir. I greet the dead. And what happens is this big, incredible machine flies in, this tremendous cargo plane. And it flies in, so powerful, so big. And I'll be talking to some of the parents, and they'll act like they're fine. I said, how are you doing? We're fine, sir. We're fine. We're really good. I said, that's great. And I'll tell the colonel, I'll say, Colonel, I think they're doing great. No, sir. They're not going to do great. You'll see. And I didn't know what he was talking about. This is the first time. And then we went outside to the runway, and this incredible machine is flying in, and it lands, and it comes over, and it pulls up, and we have military guards, we have incredible talented musicians that do this. That's what they do. And what happens is that door opens up, and the colonel told me, he said, sir, when that door opens up, those same people that you think are okay do things that you'll never see. You will hear sounds like you've never heard. That's what he does. And I saw that door open up with a coffin, with a flag over it. The door is open, and these beautiful soldiers, 5 or 6 on each side, lifting the coffin and walking down the runway, the plank they call it, off this cargo plane. And I see parents make sounds that were just 20 minutes ago absolutely fine, make sounds, scream and cry like you've never seen before. The colonel was telling me that, sir, you'll see things that you've never seen before. A mother who was fine 20 minutes ago, you think, breaking the military line and jumping off, and then jumping onto a coffin of her son or her daughter. Jumping on top of the flowers, on top of the American flag. I've seen this. And then I have all these people that want to stay. They want to stay. And I don't want to stay. We were supposed to be in Syria for 30 days. We've now been there for 10 years. We were supposed to be in Afghanistan for a short period of time. were now going to be there for close to 19 years. It's time to bring them home. It's time to bring them home. It's true.